Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here again once more at Solana, seeing what's going on. Showing a lot more strength than the majority of the market is right now. So just kind of preface, be very careful shorting this coin. And I know it sounds very contradictory because we did short Solana yesterday from 176 to 169, took a good 21% profit. But that didn't come without its trade-offs too. We had to close our ICP long position early, effectively, to ensure that we didn't take any loss there. Kind of a break-even situation, but that's why you hedge longs with shorts and so on. It can be very helpful sometimes. But the whole point of me mentioning this is that Solana is looking strong, and I don't recommend necessarily shorting at this point, even though I do personally feel like Bitcoin is going to pull back a little bit further. In fact, complete disclosure, I'm shorting Bitcoin in the $103,000 range. I think 103.2 is our entry. So there's that, right? Now, when it comes to the back-end liquidation data, let's go ahead and pull this up here for Solana. If I recall correctly, there was some liquidation below at 165. It's still present there. We haven't hit that level yet, but just know 165 is kind of that local range, and once more 185 above. So we're closer to 165. Makes more sense for the price to go down a bit lower. But I got the questions like, hey, are we going to hit our second take profit target like in the low 160s? That's a low probability right now until we break this local range of 165. So I know that seems kind of crazy. It's like, oh, of course we're going to be in the low 160s once we break 165. We're already there. But the truth here is we have a nice support range there in that level. Even though there is local liquidation there, it's important to recognize that we are holding pretty strong here. Now, keep in mind, if Bitcoin does continue lower, we could very well see a head and shoulders type of pattern play out for Solana, where the price action comes up here to reject off its kind of local high and effectively pulls back concurrent with Bitcoin. I could see that happening just based on the simple fact that I feel Bitcoin is going to pull back. But once more, that's all speculation at this point. Let's take a quick look at the daily time frame, recognize kind of where we're at here. So first of all, based on the macro resistance, we want to kind of just understand 185 is that solid resistance level. So I mentioned previously, if we're going to take a long, that would be a good place to consider taking profits. If you're going to consider a short, good place to short. I don't necessarily think that we're going to retest that level here anytime soon, but it just depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin runs back to 104, 105K, then Solana will probably do the same thing. It'll hit 185. But it's putting a lot of emphasis on Bitcoin doing well, right? Now, regardless of that fact, we're underneath the 200-day SMA that's averaging itself out at 181, also another resistance for us. We can recognize that we're starting to see some divergences here early, losing our moving average. We're under 50 on the we're above 50 on the RSI, still good, but we lost 70 there. Essentially just that natural pullback here. So it's not bad or good. I wouldn't read into the daily time frame right now on that. It's more positive than negative in the overall sense. However, we are right here testing the 50-day SMA. Generally speaking, you lose that level, you're more likely to go down. Bitcoin's right there at its 50-day SMA as well, and I personally think it's going to continue lower just based on how it's ranging with lower lows and parallel highs. That's generally a bullish type of structure, by the way, just so you know, but I do think that Bitcoin's continuing lower likelihood is higher because of the fact that we have our point of control above the price action here locally at like the 104 to 103K range. So there's a handful of reasons why I feel that way. Make sure to watch my analysis there if you're curious what my thoughts are, or check out my shorts. Those are available on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, where I kind of just communicate how that works there for you. Anyways, the whole point of this is that the 4-hour time frame is starting to show early signs of weakness. We are underneath 50 on the RSI, under our moving average. We're seeing our money flow index pulling back. Stochastic is trying to swing up, but that's natural when you hit a tentative support level. And then, of course, we got MACD trying to converge. These are all things that I don't really see, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take a long because we're double bottoming. It's crazy how some people will take a lot of trades based on chart patterns when they fail to recognize the overall scenario. Now, while the daily time frame is looking good, we're seeing the 4-hour time frame shift bearish. If we look at the hourly time frame here as well, we're underneath the cloud. This is just a good confirming factor letting us know we're likely to continue lower. Now, you could argue that the fact that it doesn't work all the time, which is true, because we were down here underneath the cloud, and had you shorted 170, you would have got destroyed with this run back up to 185. But you got to recognize this was a fundamental catalyst here, folks. Bitcoin ran towards its $105,000 range because Trump sent out a positive tweet. Okay, that's a very common, consistent thing right now. So I would say pending no fundamental positive catalyst, I think Solana's due to continue a bit lower, but you do got to recognize it's a stronger coin right now, and it's generally not favorable to consider shorting against a strong coin. So I wouldn't recommend doing that now. It showed a lot more strength than I expected on the way down as Bitcoin pulled back and other coins it pulled back a lot harder. So just keep that in mind. All right, that's kind of where we're at there. So no trade is the best trade, folks. That's kind of what it boils down to. And I'm sorry you had to wait this whole time just to hear me say that, because I know some people come to me for the answers, but I can tell you sometimes there are no answers, and sometimes the best trade is just kind of hang out on the sidelines. As you get better with trading, you'll start to realize that that's a very real thing. Okay, so just patience, sitting on your hands, it's all good. But do know this. Local liquidation, fair value gap, there's a significant amount of profit to the downside here for this coin that still is yet to be taken. So if we start trending towards 165, I think there's a decent chance that we continue to go lower, okay? Once more, that all requires Bitcoin to go down. So we'll see what happens. I hope you learned something today. Thanks again so much for being an awesome part of my life. Join us over on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I've got a TikTok as well for my shorts if you want to consider that. Let's see here, it's over here. There we go. So check it out if you want. It's all good, but I'm kind of new on the TikTok space, so it's kind of a lot of fun there. Either way, thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.